The sun had barely begun to rise over the small village nestled in the hills, casting its first golden rays across the old wooden temple. Inside, the young monk, Kai, sat cross-legged on the cool stone floor, his eyes closed, but his mind anything but still. The soft hum of the morning breeze and the distant sounds of villagers beginning their day were soothing, but they did little to calm the storm inside him. Kai was troubled by his own doubt, his fears, and the crushing weight of expectations. He had been training under Master Haku, the venerable Zen Master of the village, for over 3 years, yet still, he felt like he was failing. His practice seemed to be without progress, his mind too cluttered, his heart too uncertain. Each day he watched as his fellow monks grew stronger in their meditations and clearer in their thoughts. But for him, the struggle felt endless. "What's wrong with me?" Kai thought. "I've tried so hard. I've given so much. Why is it not enough?" He stood up abruptly, pacing back and forth in the quiet room, his footfalls heavy with frustration. Outside, the first bell of the day rang, signaling the start of morning rituals, but Kai didn't feel ready. He didn't feel worthy of stepping into the world with clarity or peace. Not today. Master Haku, who had been sitting in the corner, watching his young student in silence, stood up. His movements were slow, deliberate, like a gust of wind passing over still water. He approached Kai, who stood frozen in his turmoil. "You look troubled, my young friend," the master said quietly. Kai dropped his head, unable to meet his mentor's gaze. "I don't know what's wrong with me," he admitted, his voice heavy with self-doubt. "I've been meditating every day, practicing everything you've taught me, but I feel stuck. I can't seem to improve. My mind is full of noise, my heart full of worry. I can't move forward." Master Haku smiled gently, his eyes soft with understanding. "The noise inside your mind is the noise of a storm. The storm does not come when the wind is still. It comes when you try to control the wind, when you try to predict it, when you try to fight against its very nature." Kai frowned. "But what does that mean? How do I stop it? How do I make it go away?" "Let go of the need to control it," Master Haku said, his voice steady. "You cannot force the wind to stop, but you can learn to be still amidst it. Sit with it. Breathe with it. Allow it to pass." Kai's brow furrowed in confusion. "But if I just let the storm rage inside me, won't it tear me apart?" Master Haku chuckled softly. "The storm is not your enemy, Kai. It is the resistance to it that causes the most harm. The more you resist, the stronger it becomes. And the more you try to outrun it, the more it chases you. The path to peace is not in running away from yourself. It is in embracing everything you are, even your doubts, even your fears." Kai sat down again, still unsure of how to apply this wisdom to his own life. He wanted results, tangible proof that he was improving, that he was worthy of the time and energy Master Haku had invested in him. He wanted to silence the internal noise, but how could he do that if he didn't even know how to quiet his thoughts? Master Haku, sensing Kai's lingering confusion, sat down beside him. "Do you know how a tree grows, Kai?" The young monk glanced at the old master, but then his gaze turned inward as if searching for an answer. "A tree grows slowly, from the ground up. Its roots spread deep, its branches reach high. It doesn't try to rush the process. It just grows, day by day." "Exactly," Master Haku said. "And so it is with you. You are not failing, you are simply growing. It is not the tree that reaches for the sky that wins, but the one that keeps growing, even when it seems to stand still. Growth is never linear. It comes in waves, sometimes small, sometimes big, but always moving forward. And even when it seems like nothing is changing, the tree is still learning to stand tall in the wind. Trust that your growth is happening, whether you can see it or not." Kai closed his eyes and took a deep breath, letting the words settle into his heart. The pressure to be perfect, to show immediate progress, slowly began to ease. He realized he had been chasing results, expecting his transformation to happen overnight. The impatience to be better, faster, stronger, had clouded his ability to truly be present with himself. Master Haku continued. The storm will come and go, and sometimes, when it feels like the winds will never calm, you will learn the most. In those moments, when you think you have nothing left to give, you will realize that you are already enough, that the practice of being present, of showing up each day, is in itself the very essence of progress. Kai let out a soft sigh, a mixture of relief and realization washing over him. So, it's not about forcing myself to be something I'm not? He asked, his voice tinged with vulnerability. No, Master Haku replied gently. It's about embracing who you are, where you are, right now, without judgment, without expectation. Just as the tree doesn't judge itself for how quickly it grows, you must not judge yourself. You must simply be, moment by moment. Kai nodded slowly. A small smile began to form on his lips. It was as if a veil had lifted from his heart. For the first time in a long time, he felt a sense of peace, not because he had achieved something, but because he had finally accepted that he was already enough. The master stood and offered a hand to Kai. Shall we begin the day? He asked. Kai took the hand, standing up slowly. He walked with Master Haku toward the temple's outer courtyard, where the villagers were waiting to greet the day. As he stepped into the morning light, he realized that true peace didn't come from an absence of struggle. It came from embracing that struggle, learning from it, and finding the courage to keep going. Zen Reflection. In your moments of doubt, when the winds of fear and uncertainty blow the hardest, remember, the tree grows not in spite of the wind, but with it. Your growth is not measured by how still you can be, but by how you rise each day, with persistence and acceptance, even when the path is unclear. Let go of the need to be perfect. Trust the process, trust yourself. Just as the tree trusts the sky to meet it where it stands, so too must you trust that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should.